Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, or if you are new, welcome. My name is Mandy, and we are officially starting the Best of 2025 series today with my top 3 bronzers. If you are new to my channel this year, a quick overview of how this goes. These are not the top 3 discoveries of the year. These are truly my top 3 most used bronzers in the year of 2025. These videos are going to be short and to the point. I will do swatches if they are applicable and tell you why I love the bronzers or powders or eyeshadows or highlight or whatever the theme of the video is. So let's jump in. Last year, my top 3 bronzers were the Cream Bronzer Stick, the MAC Medium Rosy Matte Bronzer, and the Laura Mercier Baked Bronzer. All of those are still phenomenal, and I still continue to use them this year. However, they were not my top 3 most used. These were. The YSL All Hours Hyper Bronze. I have the shade number 2. Can you see? I love it. I use it a lot. This actually looks way darker in the pan than it comes off on the skin. It is a very buildable bronzer. It is a matte bronzer. The majority of the time, I like to reach for bronzers with a little bit more of a matte finish because I tend to get my luminosity from my highlights, from my blushes, sometimes from my foundation. And when I get my radiance from that and then I top it with radiance from a bronzer, it can be a little much for me. There's a time and a place for shimmer in a bronzer or luminescence in a bronzer, but typically I tend to reach for matte more. This one applies flawlessly. Again, it is buildable. I love that. I have a very heavy hand with blush, bronzer, and highlight. And if I can find one that I have to build up and I can't overdo it on the first application, it's always gonna look better for me in the end. This is a little bit warmer and undertone compared to another bronzer that I'm gonna show. So that also makes my decision on if I'm gonna use this or that, depending on what the overall look of the day is. Am I going for really, really warm tones? Do I want it to look super, super bronze? I'm probably gonna pick for this over something that's more cool toned. Sticking with the warm toned bronzer, and this one does have a little bit more radiance than the other 2 I'm gonna talk about. The Guerlain Terracotta Light in Medium Cool. Again, I have hit pan on this one as well. This one has a very distinct scent. I could smell it when I opened the compact. It does not linger on my face. And I personally love the terracotta scent in the Guerlain products in that range. The YSL does not have a scent that I can smell anyways. This one has 3 different shades in it. So it has a matte bronzer, it has a more shimmer bronzer, and it has a maybe a satin, because if you turn it the right way, you see a little bit of shimmer in it, blush shade. Now this is the cool shade, so it's a pink. If you get the warm, it's gonna be more coral. I mix all of them together and you do get a warm blush despite it being cool, but it's not overly orange. Again, when swatched, this doesn't have that much of a radiance to it that you would think it does in the pan. I adore this bronzer. It also is very buildable. That's the theme of this video. It applies flawlessly. The only thing I don't like about this is that if you can tell, some of the shades, like one of the shades in the bronzer, if you can see, it's gonna hit pan, which that one did, way before the other shades in the compact. So I'm gonna run out of some shades before I run out of the other. It's not enough for me to not repurchase this, because I love it so much. This one is refillable. It is in a limited edition case. I don't care what case it comes in. This bronzer will always be in my collection. And then my absolute, hands down, no questions asked, favorite bronzer of 2025, and quite honestly, might be my favorite bronzer of all time, is the Dolce & Gabbana Face and Eyes Match Powder. I have the shade Light Medium. This is everything I want in a bronzer. It's what I have on today. And when I swatch it, you really may not even be able to see it. It is much cooler than the other 2. It's much lighter than the other 2. It is very buildable and it is very gorgeous. Ever since I have gotten this, I have sung its praises, and I will continue to sing its praises, and I hope they never discontinue it, because again, there's just something about this bronzer that works for me. I also have it in the crease of my eyes today. I often will just use this in an eyeliner for my look. The reason I have not hit pan on this one and I've hit pan on the other two is because this has the most amount of product. This has 14 grams of product, where the YSL only has 7.5 and the Guerlain only has 10. So definitely the most amount of product. For me, being a luxury brand makeup product, this is not that expensive, especially for how much I have used it and the fact that I have not hit pan. I'm telling you, if you have not tried this line of bronzers, please try this line of bronzers. For an honorable mention, I do want to talk about my favorite cream bronzer of the year, and I do use this in a little bit of a different way. This is the Vive Modern Radiance Cream Bronzer. This is in the shade Light Medium. It is uber pigmented. And because of this amount of pigment and because of how creamy and emollient it is, I like to use this for underpainting, which is what I did in my last video, my bronze makeup look. It really makes a difference. I don't have to be as worried about how heavy-handed I am, but it does look so good from underneath a foundation, and that is how I use this the most. Really, really good. And quickly, I'm gonna show you the brushes that I use. Now, I'm not promising the brushes that I use are available, okay? But I want to show you what they are, how they look, because you quite often will find that you probably have something in your collection similar. I love the Osmosis full face brush. A very, very, very large, semi-dense, not too fluffy. I mean, there's a little bit of fluff, but it's kind of mid when we're talking about the fluff level of the brush. And this is what I love to use to basically stipple on bronzer. Love that one. I love the Osmosis large accent brush. Basically any large duo fiber brush will do. Laura Mercier has one that's similar. That also works great. There's just something about this for really diffusing the product. I like to use this one with my Guerlain. Don't ask me why, it just really works well. And then with the Vive, I like using the Makeup by Mario F4 brush, this larger angled size, because I find the pigment is so high. With the Vive, I want something that has more give to it. I want something that's fluffier, and this works perfect because it's not too large. It's gonna place the product where I want it and nowhere else, and it's just what I tend to reach for the most. And that is my roundup of my top 3 favorite bronzers from the year of 2025. As always, I will have all of these bronzers and brushes, if I can find them, listed and linked down in the description box below. Let me know your favorite bronzer of 2025 down in the comments. Thank y'all so much for watching. I will see you in my next video, and I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day.